So we got some more news this week. Last week we were talking about the Marvel Rivals news with the tournament thing, and what else we talked about? We talked about some Arc Raiders and some Division stuff. And a couple weeks ago, we had some Division news regarding the executive producer talking about the next step in Division 3 and reconfirming all that stuff and bringing survivors to Division 2. But then mysteriously, a day later, he mysteriously just up and quit, or just up and left the office. So people were speculating around that. I know Rose Gold was doing that, or Rogo was, I say Rose Gold? Rogo was doing that. I did some speculation. I think Nothing But Skills did some too. Just everybody was wondering what was going on, because we know the exciting news. We know he was excited for the the Division 2 survivors news, or to announce that, but it was so strange that he was let go. So fast forward a couple days ago, it was said that Ubisoft came out and said that it will be splitting its development team into 5 creative houses. Something like how Call of Duty does with Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and all that. And they split the work between different houses. I think that EA is doing that, or was doing that. I don't know. Got to look more into that. So after that, was it today or yesterday? News broke on Ubisoft again, that because Ubisoft is in the dirt, bro. They ain't doing good. That Assassin's Creed Shadows, while a decent game, and I think I crossed 100 hours today, and I still didn't beat the game. But it didn't. While it was a good game, not great but good, about a 7, not a 6, but 7 or 8. It didn't meet sales expectations. It still sold well, but it didn't meet expectations. Same thing with, well, I think it, well, from what I remember, I think it broke even on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Also, a year ago, or a year ago, X Defiant was shut down. Rainbow Six Siege not getting no love like that. I know I got some friends on Siege every day, and they said X, you could just pass on that. It's just a lot of Ubisoft news that ain't really been all that. And then all in all, today or yesterday, the 26th was yesterday. Well, y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it on Wednesday. Ubisoft, it says that Ubisoft suggests cutting up to 200 jobs following company restructuring. The company's French headquarters could cut around 18% of staff as part of a mutual termination proposal. Whew, shit. I think Ubisoft shit is in the trash. I think you can pick some stock up for $5, nigga, and maybe your OnlyFans link. Ubisoft ain't doing so good right now, like I said. And the thing was, bro, I was so hyped off that Division news and hearing the news on Avatar, which another thing is that Avatar and Star Wars are expensive IPs, and I know that it cost a lot to make those games. And they came out and said that Star Wars Outlaws didn't meet sales expectations, and they blamed it on fans not liking Star Wars, not the game just being dull and fucking just not good. They blamed it on fans. They always blame it on they're always gonna blame it on fans. While some fans are to blame for the state of Star Wars, the game wasn't good. The game was unpolished when it came out. It was a lot of bugs. And when I was playing it, I was not having a good time. Even if it is on Game Pass, I was not having a good time. So I uninstalled it. Star Wars Outlaws. Avatar, wow, it is getting the resurgence because of the third person mode and the DLC. That's the Avatar Fire and Ash. It is getting a resurgence. I think it's a little too late. Ubisoft is a late to a lot of things, like adding the third person mode, which should have been a feature to begin with. And when you want to see the vibrant and just experience the gameplay different. Now I know that you always say, well, Cyberpunk didn't have a third person mode, Well, the developers came out and said that the game was structured around Night City and seeing it in first person. But I'm not talking about Cyberpunk, I'm talking about Ubisoft. So my theory now is, which I said in one of them Division clips, I think, is that I think Homie got let go at Division Studio, the EP. Jarrite, am I saying his name right? Jeffrey. I don't. I can't remember his name. I think he got let go because Division is. I mean, not Division, but Ubisoft is cutting costs. They cutting costs on stuff. So, and they trying to split up the team into houses, and I believe that Power Drop and is it Massive that works on Division. They also worked on Star Wars, and I think they worked on Avatar too. So they might be splitting that shit up into houses, and I would not like to see that, especially with the Division 3 and the Division 2 survivors right around the corner. I don't want to see houses broken. I don't want to see development houses broken up into things, because it does. It when that seems to happen, it seems like a lot of things go overlooked or things get rushed out, and the fans end up suffering for it, and by then they try to make changes too late, and then they just shut down the servers or just leave the game alone. So I don't want that to happen, because I am a Ubisoft fan, and I wouldn't say fan. I'm more of a Division fan. I like Assassin's Creed. I did used to like Ghost Recon. I did not like Wildlands, and I did love Splinter Cell when they came out. Also, they canceled Prince of Persia. They can print the Prince of Persia remake that they were going to do. And also, Prince of Persia Lost City, I'm playing that on Switch right now. Bro, that might be one of the best it's been so many Metrovanias and 2D games that's been that's been good in the past couple years. And the Prince of Persia, something the Two Crowns or whatever the 2D one is on Switch. Oh my god, that shit is so good. It's so fun. So them, and then they canceled Immortal Phoenix. Yo, Ubisoft, you suck, bro. Ubisoft, you ass, dog. Y'all ass, bro. Oh my god. I forgot about Immortal Phoenix, bro. Oh my god, man. And I'm scared for Division, bro, because those are my favorite. Ubisoft has a lot of some of my favorite like IPs, bro. Rayman is gone. I used to love getting Rayman for Blockbuster. Rayman is gone. Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon. We don't know where these things is coming from, but I heard they working on Beyond Good and Evil 2. I never played the first one, so good. Shout out to y'all. But anyway, let me read some of this article, bro, because I'm just gonna get mad. After last week's news that Ubisoft will split its development team, I keep saying development team into 5 creative houses overseeing specific projects, the company has announced a proposal to cut up to 200 jobs in its international office, particularly in Paris, France. According to an email sent to staff on January 26, reported on by VGC. I think that's video games. That's something. Don't they got like a YouTube channel or something? Ubisoft has entered negotiations with French unions for a Rapture Conventionnelle collection, RCC, and RCC is a voluntary mutual termination agreement that gives French companies the option to cut their workforce. Damn. As long as the collective agreement is reached with unions and validated by French authorities. So they're going to just so it's basically like they're all agreeing to like firing or letting go or whatever. And no decision will be finalized, and the deal only impacts the company's international employees who hold French contracts. Okay, it's gonna be for side. Okay. This development comes almost a week after Ubisoft completely restructured its company, citing disappointing game sales. I think that's their fault. Declining revenues and a dip in stock value. The company outed to split its development team into 5 creative houses that will handle specific gaming franchises. As a result, the company has canceled 6 games. See, news like last year, Expedition 33 leaving. Expedition 30. My bad. Expedition 33 won Game of the Year, and they were a former Ubisoft team, and the game it just swept the award. Not even Game of the Year, it swept the awards. It's still sweeping awards. That just goes to show you that it's not a development problem. It's an up top problem, bro. It's an up top problem, man. When y'all got people who are leaving the team and going to do great things with less money and less resources, it's a you problem, bro. And I was going to make a video defending y'all, but after that division video, it's definitely after this shit, I can't defend y'all niggas, bro. Y'all might be worse than EA. Y'all might be the worst gaming company. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Ubisoft, y'all might be cooked. One of the games confirmed to have been canceled following this major shakeup was the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, bro. PS2, my PS2 niggas know. They know. Which Ubisoft said in March 2025 launch in March 2026. Despite this, development team has said the series will continue. Continue in which way? In which way? I don't understand. Ubisoft, bro. Like, yo, shit, bro. Didn't they just get like saved by some company or something, like Tengen or something? And now they're splitting up the house. Maybe that was a Tengen or suggestion. That's crazy, bro. We got canceled games. We got split up of houses, of development houses into houses, different houses, 5 houses, and then we got employees getting terminated. Yo, what is going on here, Ubisoft, bro? Y'all need some money? Do you need some money? Jesus. It's just crazy to see, like, and we're video. I'm gonna watch like a quick one. It is crazy to see, like, I used to be like Ubisoft had some of my favorite games, and over the weekend I found myself downloading some of the Ubisoft games. I found myself downloading some Ubisoft game like Division. But the news on Division came out that Survivors was the thing, so the news on Division, so people were playing Survivor and it was looking good, and it's just bro. But I want to watch this one video about Bellular News. Division self-destruction got worse. I'm just gonna react to the video. I'm probably not gonna watch the whole thing, but yeah, let's watch.
That most people would like. And in this year alone, it's going to be more than €1 billion in losses. And that's not the only cost. The Prince of Persia remake. Yes, that thing. It's now finally been killed.
Crazy,
even though apparently it's pretty close to actually being releasable. Just not releasable enough.
That's crazy,
but
bro.
It's only
That's crazy that
a dozen games.
I think Ubisoft just banks on Assassin's Creed, maybe Far Cry sales. Like, they don't give a fuck about the other games, bro. We know, but like, that's crazy. They saying this game was closed. In a persistent and most selective market is a part of the finalization of this new operation model. Ubisoft has conducted a thorough review of its concept pipeline over December and January. As a consequence, the group has decided to discontinue 6 games. Whoa! Prince of Sands of Time remake, as well as 4 unannounced titles, including 3 new IPs and a mobile title. Allocate additional development time to 7 games. This includes the unannounced title initially planned for. Is that why? I don't know what FY 2026, but that has been delayed to FY 2027.
Games that have now bit the bullet. Multiple studios are closing down. There's layoffs and stuff at all levels of the company, and the games that they're planning to release are delayed. Yeah, Ubisoft are having fun. And as this new version of them takes shape, well, what we're talking about today is certainly not going to be the last round of cuts. Let's get up to speed. Ubisoft somehow managed to survive 2025. There was Assassin's Creed Shadows, which for all of the noise online actually does seem to have overperformed its financial expectations. Who knows about fun performance, but it did what they needed it to do.
Assassin's Creed Shadows did do what they needed to do. That's right.
In 2025, and their library actually did manage to deliver as well, even when, say, the free-to-launch of Rainbow Six Siege and the lackluster autumn lineup didn't really Basically, they have a humongous back catalogue that just trickles money into their pockets. But as we covered in this video, that wasn't the main story of Ubisoft. The main story was the Guillemot family, and them basically trying to retain control of the company.
Family?
They had minimized risk. Tencent bailed them out by investing in the newly formed Vantage Studios, and the money that was provided for that was able to solve their outstanding debt issues. They laid off hundreds of staff.
I just said it got saved by somebody. I didn't know who it was.
That point, but things had been looking up. The basic story is they'd have 2 big releases before the financial year's end, and that would coast Ubisoft out of diminishing losses in 2026 and into profit for financial year 2027. And at the heart of this model was their new structure, which is what they call creative houses. Essentially, it's a new structure for development that gives studios the freedom to work on games a bit more dynamically. It's the sort of thing that all sounds great in paper, but in doing all of that, there has been a cost. That cost is €1 billion in losses this year.
So they lost. Just water. So they lost money. They splitting up the house development team in the houses, and yeah.
You're alone, and I go through everything in today's video. You'll really see how the losses are mounting. Let's talk about the €1 billion then. That's what Ubisoft are expecting as we now close out the financial year. And it's not really like they expected profit in the first place. Now, the reason for all of this is fairly simple. They've written off costs of 6 projects, they're delaying more projects, and they're closing multiple studios and laying off staff. Staff who, by the way, learned about their layoffs.
Wait.
Costs of 6 projects, they're delaying more projects, and they're closing.
Acceleration cost reduction initiative as part of the transformation of operation model and improved structure efficiency. Closure restriction of Abu Dhabi Red Links and massive. Oh, that's why they're restructuring massive. Oh, that's probably why homie got let go. Jared, that's why he got let go. Damn. But he worked on both divisions, Avatar and Star Wars, and I think something else for them too. Why did they let them go? They probably offered them more at Battlefield, or to do something that they probably want to utilize them skills more at Battlefield. Because if you don't remember, he said he was going over to Battlefield. I can't remember. Gerardi, he said he was over to Battlefield.
Multiple studios and laying off staff who, by the way, learned about their layoffs basically when we did.
That's crazy. I hate that for them. Now, all of this with every company, bro. They don't tell y'all niggas, y'all, we letting y'all go until the last minute, bro. I hate that. Corporate
greed to a major hit to their finances in the short term. Obviously, doing all of that stuff is fairly expensive. And especially, that's because one of the games that they killed was apparently meant to launch this month. Yes, I mean it. So, Insider Gaming said that at one point, the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake was scheduled January 16th, 2026. Obviously, that hasn't happened. Essentially, following a review of the game over December and January, leadership pushed the game to March. But then, it was killed. It was killed on the day of the big investor announcement. And alongside it, 3 new IPs have been cancelled, 1 existing IP project is cancelled, and a mobile title.
I wonder if they had a Rayman shit coming.
There's another thing that outnumbers the cancelled games.
Splinter Cell, maybe?
The delayed ones. 7 more games have been delayed.
Is it our fault? Like, do we have some of the blame? Like, making sure we bought the last couple Splinter Cell games and on Far Cry, and I seen because I wanted to play Valhalla again, so I looked up some YouTube videos, did some research on it, but I seen like Valhalla is the highest selling Assassin's Creed, like over 40 million or something like that. Like, so clearly people want, even though y'all say, yo, we want to go back to the old Assassin's Creed ways, when 40 million people and people are investing in the new Assassin's Creed, like the Odysseys, the Origins, and the Shadows, and those are doing mad numbers, like mainstream numbers, I think they want to follow their company, so they're gonna follow the money, bro. And they're not gonna put all their resources into I'm gonna say niche games like Division and Siege. They're not gonna put their what you call it. Maybe Siege isn't niche like that. I don't know. I'm not a Siege fan, but maybe they aren't putting their money into that stuff because it isn't bringing in a lot of money. But that's my problem, bro. Is money everything? Is when it comes to these investors, yes, but like, bro, what about integrity and some fucking dignity, bro? Yo, people are playing this 10-year-old game. You should give them new content or a sequel. And stop baiting your EP, bro, and say, yo, it's coming, yo. We're gonna take him away to work on Star Wars and our Avatar game, and y'all just do y'all. So then when he leaves, he's leaving the team with all of Ubisoft bullshit. So let's see watching now.
Was previously scheduled for this financial year. That's a hell of a lot being pushed back, and it very much seems that the worst kept secret, the Black Flag remake, well, won't be out before April at the earliest. And of course, this is just the project. Let's talk about the studios. Ubisoft Halifax was closed, and that was weeks after the studio voted to unionize. Then Stockholm, where Ubisoft were experimenting with cloud development, will be shut down entirely. Layoffs are coming or are already in progress at Abu Dhabi, at Red Links, and also at Massive. Massive are the maker of The Division. So it's a hell of a lot. And all of this is part of saving €100 million in fixed costs a year ahead of schedule. Because what this is really all about is Ubisoft getting ready for its future. And it's a future.
Money, bro. It's just money, man. You're cutting the cost.
Sure that, they say is gamer-centric. But maybe
bro, it don't sound like it.
Here's the story Ubisoft are putting forth, right? They're framing these cancellations as an acknowledgement of, and I quote, a persistently more selective AAA market and an increasingly competitive shooter landscape. Honestly, like, those things I think are fairly true. We are seeing a few AAA failures. There is a lot of competition. Now, their solution to this is, as I said earlier, to become a, quote, more gamer-centric organization.
The thing is like, with AAA games, because a game is AAA, from what I know, it's like, when you put, the amount of money you putting into it, when you putting 100 plus into a game, bro, you got to make that money back, especially for, like, investors, man. And a lot of that, let's go for Assassin's Creed Shadows, for example, bro. I like the game, I do, but it's no need for it to be 100 plus hours, bro. When you're making these massive fucking games where the open world is just fucking GTA 5 and fucking Watch Dogs 2 and San Francisco and all this other shit, you inflating that cost of that game so much where you're gonna have to make you're gonna have to sell crazy amounts to make that money back. And every game isn't gonna sell that all the time. It's so many games coming out. Everybody don't got time to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, bro. Everybody ain't got time to play explore your map for 70 hours. People are not gonna want to do that shit. So I wouldn't be opposed to, me personally. I ain't a game developer. I ain't a studio nigga, bro. But I wouldn't be opposed to, like, them cutting some of that budget in half, cutting some of the maps in half, maybe populate the map. Instead of making it all big out and spread and eagle and all that other shit. Maybe just populate the map, cut it in half, populate the map, cut the cost on shit, so you don't have to sell 500 million to break even.
Organization structured around creative genres with faster, decentralized decision-making.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to make up with the people who did Expedition 33 because they good without them. Like, we straight, but
And a lot of those things do sound good. Decentralized decision-making, that is basically what we all want. Now, what they're doing is doubling down on two core pillars. And I think these core pillars are what they think is gamer-centric. But I'd love to know your take. The core pillars are open-world adventures and gas-native experiences. You may be thinking, what? Ubisoft are gassing us? No, gas means games as a service. Now, this doesn't mean
they want to focus on open world games and live service games. I mean, I just said the thing about open world games, but like service games, bro, I feel like it take a lot of upkeep for that shit. Like it take a lot of upkeep for live service games, bro. And if every one of your games is, or like 3 out of 5 of your games, for example, is a live service game, it's gonna cost a lot, bro. So maybe we should cut some of them too.
Every single game they make is going to be that, but that type of game is the sort of thing that'll be keeping the lights on for them. And those are going to be brought to you by the creative houses that develop and publish their own games, and that will all happen under the watchful eye of Ubisoft's Paris leadership. Now, I want you to take a look at this chart. So, each of these are going to get names eventually, but they're all following the Vantage Studios model.
Okay. All right, so we got Vantage Studio, scaling and extending Ubisoft large and its franchises to turn them into annual billion-dollar brands. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six. Okay, Creative House 2, we got offering competitive and cooperative shooter experience. Ghost Recon Division. When are we getting a Splinter Cell game, bro? Like, one thing that from Ghost Recon that I want in Division games, I feel like stealth should be more of a focal point in Division, and also that shooting shit, that team shooting, I really like that. I would love that in Division, and also like takedowns and shit, like stealth takedowns. Creative House 3 operating a roster of select sharp live experiences. I forgot they did Brawlhalla. Oh my god. Brawlhalla, For Honor, Riders, Republic, Skull and Bones, The Crew, Creative House 4, dedicated to immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. Anno. Beyond Good and Evil, Might and Magic, Prince of Persia, Rayman. Creative House 5, reclaiming a strong position in casual and family-friendly games. Brands including Hasbro. Oh, they got Hasbro shit. Hungry Shark, Invincible, Garden of Globe. I don't know what that is. Invincible. I don't know. I don't think I thought it was Invincible versus was coming out. I don't know what game that is. I don't know what studio that is. Just Dance, Catch Your App Profile, and I don't know that other shit. They own Uno. Move that shit. They own Uno. They probably got the gaming rights to it. Huh. Okay.
Though not necessarily in scope. Vantage's 3 brands have been positioned as dollar franchises since 2022. They're quite literally defined as billionaire brands on the org chart. As for everything else, well, they're getting a specific type of game as their product, so basically that means the same company who's making Rayman doesn't have to be the same bunch who are making Rainbow Six. What actually goes where? What does all this mean? So Creative House 2 is going to be competitive and cooperative shooters. That means Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and The Division. House 3 will have select, sharp, live experiences, which essentially means their existing successes like Brawlhalla, For Honor, The Crew, and a game that you probably forgot about. Skull and Bones.
At least they're saying they're not going to forget them. They're just restructuring shit.
People actually play Skull and Bones. I don't think it's really that many of them, but it's enough of them for seemingly it to be worth doing. I think it's just one of those games that is away in its own corner of the internet where the rest of us just don't really hear about it. Then there's Creative House 4, which I think we may as well just label as other. Ubisoft are framing them as immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. But I think in practice that's going to mean strategy games like Anno, Might and Magic, maybe the odd Rayman, Prince of Persia, and, of course, Beyond Good and Evil, which still exists.
I didn't play that first one.
Maybe it'll come out before 2050. Then there's Creative House 5. That's casual games like Just Dance. And all of these will report directly to Ubisoft HQ whilst being supported by their creative network, which basically means internal outsourcing for manpower and then core services for like production, finance, technology, and that kind of thing. So that's the structure. With all that structure being set up, you may be wondering, why was Sands of Time cancelled? You could have launched it. Well, you can see that the team working on it are talking about it in social media, and they are saying the franchise will continue. They want to keep making Prince of Persia games. So why not just hand another team the work so far, or let the people at Ubisoft Montreal, you know, a studio that sure can actually make games, keep going and fitting? Well, the reason is that team alone had already given the thing 4 years.
What?
Yes, 4 years. And in this
4 years and they couldn't finish the game? Was it too much like meddling or something?
They could be working on something that is just a more provable IP. They could be putting resources into a game more likely to generate a outsized return. But even so, why not hand it over to one of the Creative House 4 studios? Well, if you did, you'd just be hanging a big milestone around their neck and giving them a hell project that's already faced many, many years of chaos. It may not be the best way to kick off a new business unit that is...
I can kind of get it, because it's like, okay, new idea that we're doing. We're going to stuff up. We're going to break. We're going to, what is it? Allocate the load, basically. We're going to break it up into 5 houses. So we already was working on the Prince of Persia game, but let's can it and wait until we do the 5 houses of structure and the 5 creative houses. And then a year later or a couple months down the line, we'll come back to it. I'm just shooting in the dark.
Expected to be financially sustainable in its own right. And if all of this seems like a plan rapidly cobbled together, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I mean, as of the announcement, staff don't even know where they are. I think there's a logic underwriting all of this.
The division?
And that logic is pain now over pain later. Here's the principle of things. If Ubisoft as a publishing group take these hits now, then the creative houses don't have to make those hard choices later, and they actually get to be successful business units.
Bro, this is y'all last chance, bro. I swear to yo, Ubisoft, this y'all last chance, bro. This y'all last chance before y'all niggas gotta hang it up.
As positive a balance sheet and release schedule as is, well, possible. I think that's essentially the plan. And that means the games coming out in fiscal year 27 get more dev time, more polish, and more time for developers to adjust to the new structure. That is basically how this would benefit the creative houses, the new structure, at least in theory. You see, each of these creative houses is also, and perhaps more importantly, a vehicle for internal investment, like with, say, the Tencent stuff that we've talked about. That may mean partnerships with Might and Magic and Hooded Horse, but it might also...
What does it say?
A vehicle
in theory, adding another layer of management ironically speeds up Ubisoft decision processing by giving it control over these brands, provided Ubisoft board don't disagree. For their investment, Tencent gets to have 10% ownership of the big 3. For the big 3 houses, 1.16 billion euros seems like a lot for only 25% 3 game franchises, right? Back in 2022, Ubisoft announced that they were planning to have 2 billion euro in annual revenues from 3 franchises: Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy as a whole. Oh, okay. Damn.
Gamer-centric in the way that most people would like, and just comb through their back catalog for games that are on that creative house's list. And to break analyst mode for a second, I think I need to acknowledge the obvious thing that we're probably all thinking as regular people. This is all just owned by Ubisoft, and it does feel like a bunch of, we've split ourselves up. I don't know, like Cell Division now own all of these things, and it all does like, business structure, corporate tomfoolery. And I suppose, in a way, it is. Ubisoft itself does own all of these companies. And Ubisoft still reports group-wide profit and loss. They're still on the hook for the cost of all of this stuff, and now they're saying that recovery is going to take longer than anticipated. Yes, that's also a thing that they've said in this recent big wave of talking about investors and businessy things. And that's why this won't be the end of the cost cutting.
So it's going to be more cuts
ahead of their current plans for 100 million euro in savings by 2027, but they're already rolling out what they call, quote, a third and final phase. If you work at Ubisoft, that's what I think we call a threat. Now that phase is to be another 200 million euro in costs, all to be cut by March 2028. And as Stephen Totillo at GameFile has pointed out, since this plan started, it's meant 3,000 layoffs, saving 300 million euros. And in total, what it comes to
3,000 layoffs
is Ubisoft wanting to go from 1.75 billion euro in costs in 2023 to 1.25 billion in costs by 2028.
That's the thing with companies, bro. You could be doing fine. But they're going to be like, okay, how can we go from 100 million to 100 million in 5? Oh, cut 500 jobs. Yeah, just fuck those and fuck their families and everything. Just cut, bro, fuck. I don't understand the thing about like not trying to keep your happy. Because then you get great products, or you're gonna get better products, bro. You get better products, you get better morale, you get better you get better news. It would just be a better vibe at Ubisoft than doing all these costs and cuts just so y'all can make a few extra. I mean, it's $1 billion, but a few extra money. But the thing is your reputation is in the dirt with niggas, bro.
Now that likely means another 2,000 staff need to go by fiscal 28 alongside
they're going to be doing AI.
Real estate.
They're going to be doing these companies can cut the cost by $1 billion or $100 million. They're going to start using AI. They're going to implement AI in this shit, bro. And it's going to be fast, bro.
Sales and efficiency, which is of course why a lot of generative AI as an investor-friendly buzzword is also part of all of these announcements, because of course it is. And while you may think, oh man, look at that, they're ahead of schedule on that 100 million we talked about. Surely they don't have to do everything right now. Surely they can do it slowly and efficiently. No, the phase 3 things are actually starting now. Anyone still at Ubisoft is going to be required back in the office 5 days a week with a set number of days per year that they can work from home. This is to, quote, boost the collective performance for AAA. Now, whenever you're changing the conditions of work, you're changing basically someone's employment terms, or agreement, that obviously will lead to a lot of people. You know what?
It's me to be like a remote work and everything. Do around all this stuff, and then y'all, we need you in the office for 5 days a week. But that's fair. But like, it's kind of shitty, bro. It's shitty, bro. Because I restructured my life around this format, and because y'all want to make you more dollars and everything, y'all telling me come in the office or you fucking fired.
This no longer makes sense for what I want out of my career and my life. I'm going to go and look somewhere
Battlefield,
else.
my man's with the Battlefield.
One of the ways in which this is a classic soft layoff technique, where basically you're removing staff who maybe would need additional accommodations without having to fire them directly. And that's the sort of thing they'll have to do because, well, this sounds funny, but because of something that's good, Ubisoft's CFO confirmed they're at, quote, the lowest historical levels of staff attrition, and this is down from a peak in 2022. Is that because Ubisoft is suddenly a magical place to work?
So they saying, oh yeah, you remember all the harassment shit that we had? Oh, that's good. We good now, bro. Our employees love working.
There's been a lot of layoffs in the industry. Hiring is still really weak, so obviously people will not want to, go find a job elsewhere. That's way harder. So if you're to ask me, it's a case of low staff. Staff basically don't have anywhere else to go, which may not be a great
He's spitting.
Sign for how happy they are in the company, and I bring all of this up because based on everything that we've seen, staff may actually be Ubisoft's largest problem. Here's how staff are a problem. At the time of the announcement, people did not know what creative house their project would be lumped into. This is the sort of thing that is a big corporate decision, but it doesn't seem that they have a lot of buy-in for it. It would be hard to get buy-in for any of this planning in a world where staff don't even know where they're going to be going. Scary, and of course, Ubisoft's union.
Yo, one of the scariest things, but not scary, but it just stresses me out, bro. Like, even when I was doing data entry on a contract thing, I know it's a contract thing. It's just, but it goes past that, bro. Because then you got people worrying about, you just staying up worrying about, are you gonna have a job? Are you gonna do this? Like, it's around holiday season. It's just bad all the board, bro. And that stress, it can kill you, bro. The cost of living is up. Things aren't going up. It's a lot of bull crap going around, man.
Are fairly quick to tell leadership when they think they're wrong. They're already planning protests. They're already
they're gonna do enough is enough. That strike. They're gonna strike. They're gonna the end of cutting cost plan and work conditioning, decent pay raise this year. Man. Shout out to y'all.
Already calling for strikes, and as this restructuring rumbles on, expect more and more pushback. But there is another problem looming as well. We don't know who's going to run these creative houses. And we have seen evidence in recent weeks that Ubisoft are losing a lot.
That's what Julian. That's what I said. After Owner's departure back in, so it was rumored. After rumored there was a departure back in October. The division after Julian announced that he's joining the Battlefield team. This follows his marketing for the division as recently announced, where he to the franchise to the press. Maybe he was like, maybe he's been gone, but out of love for the team and love for the game and love for the community, he actually did. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Talent, people who have been there for a long time, and people who have played a major role in saving or salvaging projects.
Mark Alexei Kota was the vice president and executive producer for the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. In his lawsuit, he refers to his feelings that he is the guardian of Assassin's Creed franchise. Per CBC Radio Canada, he is suing Ubisoft for 2 years' salary and $75,000 in mutual damages, totaling a cost of $1.3 million in a Supreme Court of Quebec.
We have a deep dive on that coming soon, as it could be a real big problem for them. Now, all of these changes are about one thing: the Guillemot's gamble on guaranteed short-term pain for long-term success. Question, though, is whether enough of Ubisoft's workforce and library survives to see it pay off. And of course, as far as you and I are concerned, pay off in the form of high-quality games that are worth your time. Who knows if that will happen? And speaking of confusion, who knows that Highguard is coming out next week?
That was very good video. It was a video longer than I thought it was going to be. All in all, bro, Ubisoft, get it together, man. Y'all got to get it together. This is y'all last chance in my eyes, bro. I think y'all should have been done. But, y'all game, the reason that I'm giving y'all high grace is because y'all game. We're giving y'all grace because of y'all games. And I hold a lot of them in my heart, like Assassin's Creed, Division, Rayman, and Splinter Cell. I hold them dear. So I'm giving y'all grace. But y'all can't just keep pulling y'all pants down and firing niggas, pissing on everybody, and tell y'all niggas to tell people to suck y'all dick. Nah, man, fuck y'all, bro. Niggas ain't going for that. Y'all canceling Prince of Persia remakes? Yo, that's crazy. But yeah, that was just some Ubisoft news. I know tomorrow we got some Division Assassin's Creed collab. So I'll be doing it on that tomorrow. So yeah, so check out for that. Thank y'all.